Hey everybody, welcome to episode number 7 of Cameron's Nostalgia Podcast. I'm your host, Cameron Strickland, and today I have with me Steve Berens. How are you?
Very good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Now, for any of you guys who don't know, Steve is an animal trainer, stuntman, and actor. Steve is an animal trainer for TV shows and films. So, he's here right now. And he's been working on commercials right now. And I am here to start off with your first question. How did you get interested in animal training?
I had an uncle who was an animal trainer, and I started working for him, cleaning cages and learning from him.
And how did you get interested in stunts?
Well, the stunt part of it came along with some of the animal work. A lot of times, uh, we'll do some of our own stunts with the animals and make sure that they're safe because that's our concern a little bit more than a stunt man would be concerned about it.
Do you remember your first interest to animals?
My first interest to animals. Well, I had animals as a kid, so I was always interested, and I knew my uncle was a animal trainer, and so I kind of got into that, and so I was into animals as a young kid.
What was your first animal that you got?
Well, we had a couple dogs, and we always had a little parakeet, and so just family pets.
Okay. So, what was your first on-camera debut?
As far as me working an animal that I worked on film is what you're talking about. Is that what you're asking?
Uh-huh.
Well, probably one of the first big jobs I did myself with my own animal was a film called Up the Creek, and that was with a little border collie by the name of Jake.
Board up the creek.
It's called Up the Creek, and it was a little border collie was the type of dog.
That's the 1984 film.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah. So, moving on to the TV shows and films, you worked on Two Moon Junction
Yes,
and The Mask,
yes.
Little Nicky, the Animal in Quarantine.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this one's very disturbing. What was it like working on the ABCs of Death?
Well, that was um, actually a lot of fun. I got to kind of choreograph that fight, and that was some people might be disturbed about that because they think that there might have been some actual violence. That was all acting, and that was acting by the dog also. That was all coordinated, routine uh, behaviors that we worked out together. His name was Riley, the dog.
And You punched the dog Riley.
Well, actually, I didn't punch the dog. That was the bit where we used a little bit of a stunt illusion. The way when stuntmen throw punches, it looks as if they're hitting the person, but they're not actually hitting the person. You use a camera angle that kind of hides the fact that you're missing your target, but the dog was taught to snap his head back as if he was hit. So that's what I was talking about. Those were all trained behaviors. See, I never actually hit the dog.
A short film for ABC's of Death is D's for Dogfight.
That's right. Yep.
And do you have the behind the scenes footage or photos of this segment?
No, I don't. We may have a couple of pictures somewhere, possibly, um, but no, I really don't.
Oh. You worked on VHS Viral.
What was that?
VHS Viral.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And you worked on a segment called Vicious Circles. What was it like working on that?
A segment, Vicious Circles. Hmm. Ah, yes, that where I played a cop that gets hit by the truck, right? Yeah. Well, that was interesting. I wouldn't necessarily consider myself an actor as much, but in that particular role, I did that. It was nice. It was interesting.
All right. Do you have the behind the scenes footage or photos of it?
Of that particular show, no, I don't.
Okay. And what was it like working on the 1994 film The Mask?
No, it was a ton of fun. We didn't know at that time who Jim Carrey was. He wasn't that well known yet. And as we began filming that, um, I think most of the crew people realized as we started filming that, hey, this guy's got some incredible talent. And I think we did a fabulous job with the dog. And I think that film came out really, really well. Obviously, for Jim Carrey and for myself, for the dog, turned out very well.
And do you have the behind the scenes videos and photos of The Mask?
And no, not, I don't.
All right. Let me scroll up here. You have worked on the 2001 film Freddy Got Fingered.
Yes.
What was it like working on that?
Oh, it was all right. It uh, wasn't that good of a film, really. I believe the gentleman's name, the actor in it, Tom Green, who was the director, um, had not directed before, I don't believe, and it didn't seem as if he had directed before.
Your image just froze.
Okay, you're back.
I'm sorry, your image just froze.
Yeah, you froze also, and then you disappeared, but you're back now. Can you hear me okay?
I'm okay.
All right.
All right. Sorry about that. Okay. I saw that movie on Rewind on channel 190, which is called Click. What was it like looking on that movie?
Click. Click was interesting. I've done a lot of films with Adam Sandler, quite a few, and that was just one of many. And it it was good, worked out well. I thought the dogs performed well and turned out good.
All right. You worked some other films, and the puppet film that Brian Henson directed was The Happy Time Murders.
Yes,
And what was it like working on that film?
that was a lot of fun. We, had a lot of dogs tearing the puppet up, and it was a lot of fun. We had a good time with that, and I don't remember anything specific about that particular one. It we just had a lot of trainers on that one, and just coordinated it, and once again, I think worked out pretty well.
All right. I say we watch the segment with the commentary. Want to see?
I'm not following.
Oh, I see. You worked on some other ones, including Stranger Things.
Yes.
What was it like working on that show?
Well, it was very interesting. Working on that show, they're very secretive because they prepare for, it might be a year, it could be 2 years, where they're preparing for their final episode to release whatever that intriguing piece might be. And so they're very concerned about everybody or anyone getting on social media and talking about what that end piece might be. So what was interesting about Stranger Things is they would send you script pages, but they would be as if you got them from the government, all redacted. You would never see any of the actual action and lines unless it was just what the animal did. And so um, that can be difficult to get a sense of the character that you're trying to create with the animal, because you don't get a sense of what the show, what's happening before you shoot it. Once you shoot it, you actually obviously know, but before then, it's difficult to understand a bit of their storytelling.
All right. Hmm. And what was it like working on Son of the Mask, the 2005 film?
Well, that was um, interesting because we shot that in Sydney, Australia, and we had to go there ahead of time with the dogs and keep them in quarantine because that is an island. So they have the way you when you travel to Hawaii, they're very concerned about rabies, and so that was very interesting from that standpoint. We had to go there early, and we were just there prepping. Um, but it was a lot of fun. It was whenever you get a show where you get to work the animal a lot, and the dog is a big part of the show, it's always a very, very good time.
And this movie features two puppets from Baby Einstein, the dog and the dragon.
In which show was that?
You mean movie.
Yeah, movie. Which movie was that?
Son of the Mask.
Ah, that's right. That's right. Yes. Mm-hmm.
And they were just made of Velux.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I had this dragon puppet behind me.
Aha. Yeah. You've got lots of puppets back there, I can see. Mm-hmm.
Mm. Okay. Well, I think that's it for the interview.
Okay.
Is there anything else you'd like to say?
Uh, no, no. Good luck to you. And I yeah, it's good talking to you, and hope there's some insight to anyone that enjoys animal work in films.
All right. Stay tuned. There will be more. Um, well, Steve, thank you so much for having me.
All right, I appreciate it.
Stay tuned. There will be more guests coming up. Until next time, peace.
Peace out.